I'm Sarah Russell.
I'm JQ Walker.
I'm Hind, and we are
The Neurodivergent Report, a research-based podcast by and for neurodivergent brains.
In each episode, we'll explore topics relating to neurodiversity and coping strategies by reviewing the literature and discussing current topics.
We will also have interview episodes where we sit down with experts in the field and listeners like you, with the hope that together we can all learn to heal in community.
However you are able to engage, thank you for being here.
Happy New Year. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited what we will end up with talking about.
Yeah, so you're the first person on our show who has a diagnosis of cerebral palsy.
Wow. Wow.
Uh-huh. And so you get to share a new perspective with our audience. I love that. And I love that you also have such deep international, like, you're in
Connection.
all the continents, friends. Not all of them, but
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all that stuff.
Good.
I would imagine.
Let's start first with Mikhail. Who are you? What do you do? How do you want to introduce yourself?
What I do, I open up people so they can see a different you. So they can see your possibilities in your life. Since I have a very, very different background that normal people have, not even normally with cerebral palsy, because I grew up so totally different. And when I speak, most people, they think there is something wrong with me. Of course there is. And people who know me, they know I'm half crazy because I've done so much different stuff in my life that normal people do maybe one time, but I have like 10 of those. So I try, my goal with interview, podcast, or newspaper is for people to open their world and see their world different. And with, if I can, you can do so much more with your life. That's my goal. So I have different things, how I do it, podcast. I write a lot. I have some coaching, some courses. But that's my passion, to get people to get to know themselves more with their possibilities.
Excellent. That's an amazing introduction. We talked, I'm not sure if that was recorded or not, that you are someone who's not only multifaceted, but also have an international perspective. You were born in Sweden, but you're currently in Thailand. You grew up in a very unconventional environment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I mean, if I look back now, if you want to be a life coach, it's the perfect environment because
Training grounds. Yeah.
when I was 7 years old, I have 6 people from India, from New Delhi, who moved in with us and lived with us for 4.5 years. My first mentor was from Egypt, and he wrote the anthem on stage Saudi Arabia. I have my mom from north of Sweden. My father, he was born in Finland, and his parents are from Russia. So I have like a multiple dimension going up. And then to grow up in this environment with cerebral palsy, they don't have time for cerebral palsy. so they let me be. So I go up as anybody else. When I wanted to learn to bicycle, they order a special bicycle for me, but they forget to tell me. So I borrow friends' bicycles outside and learn how to ride bike by myself. I have bruises everywhere, but I don't care because I wanted to learn bicycle. So
Mhm.
that's a bit about how I grew up in Sweden, very cold country.
And now you can drive a motorbike.
Yes, I drive motorbike nearly every day. Nearly every day.
Wow.
And you should see the people, because people like me, nearly the whole world, they hide us. You don't see
Yeah.
Yeah.
people with cerebral palsy out in the street in Thailand. And they definitely don't drive motorbikes. So when police people stop me, they just let me go because they have never seen a person like me driving motorbike. So it's advantages, but there is also a dark side
Mhm.
because people like me, they don't get the chance. They don't believe I can raise a family, I can have work, I can be a professional, I can study what I want.
Yeah.
They are so narrowed. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's the society's way of leading people to a certain box that they think the people are in. It's not only me, it's
Mm.
every person. You have to put them in a box, and then you can't go outside that box to get accepted. Something like that. It was a longing from how I was raised. But I was raised like a normal person because they didn't have time with my cerebral palsy.
The last time we spoke, you said something very important about the difference between living in Sweden and living in Thailand. I don't think you'd be able to ride a motorbike in Sweden just because of the harsher climate.
Yeah,
Is that?
yeah, because my
Yeah.
body is shaking, so I have muscle problem. And when it's very cold, it's cramps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably, and I don't think I even get the idea to do that in Sweden because you you don't use the motorbike. I thought Thai people were lazy because they took the motorbike to the shop 500 meters down the road. But it's
Hmm.
about security. People don't walk in Thailand. They go on bikes. So if you don't drive a
Hmm.
bike and walking, they will hit you because they think
Yeah.
that people are not walking. They they don't even
Yeah.
have that in their system. So here it's like brushing your teeth. You drive a motorbike, it's the same thing. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that
That's so
because
interesting.
I live in Kuwait. It's in the Arabian
Mhm.
Peninsula, and the thing is, it's because of our climate. It's very, very hot that our country is not basically built in a way where people can walk.
Yeah.
You either have a car or a motorbike, or you get hit if you walk or even ride a bicycle because our country is not built that way. So I
Oh,
completely understand what you're saying about Thailand.
yeah.
And I'm so happy that you managed to adapt. And speaking of that, I just read this and was completely astonished, but it also proves how the environment is everything. You spent 40 years in pain. with cerebral palsy
Yeah.
in Sweden. But then you went to Thailand for 5 days and you felt pain-free.
Yeah.
What did that teach you about sensory load and the environment, and how can someone learn from that and incorporate this without needing to go to a different environment to
Yeah.
establish their
Yeah.
needs? Yeah.
That's a very good question. But it's even bigger because it's about your mindset. When we live our life,
Mm.
we end up in crossroads. And those crossroads, we have to go right or left. And sometimes we wait too long at the crossroad, so it disappears. And what happened was, I came to Thailand on vacation, and the warm weather and the humidity made my body not cramp, so I had no pain. And when I went back to Sweden after the vacation, the cramp came back. Because if you shake your hands or your body for 41 years, you will have pain every day, every
Yeah.
day, every day. And since I was assistant researcher, I studied a project in Sweden with people with cerebral palsy, and we couldn't find people older than 50, only 2, 3 over 50. And I thought, why is that? And then what I found out was when you're 40, you have so much pain in your body. So you take cramp medicine, pain medicine, and you get, before you're 50, you have organ failure because the
Right.
body can't take all this medicine. So when I thought about that, why should I live in Sweden with pain? So I said, let's go to Thailand. And I just moved. 3 months later, I came here, and I've been here since 2009. And that's a crossroad. So what I want to tell the audience, when you come to crossroad in life and death, whatever it is, you have to go the road who benefits you most. I was married in Sweden. I begin to get really famous. You know, TV shows were calling. I get this high-paid public speaking engagement. I was married. My art, I was selling art. I was doing really, really good. But I left it.
Yeah, you weren't trying to start over because your life was in the trash. You were doing really well,
Yes.
but your body was rejecting.
Yes. So that's why I ended up here.
So courageous.
Yeah. And that's the main message to people listening to this, that you have to be courageous to do this decision, because the last 15 years, 16 years of my life, probably I wouldn't even have survived in Sweden, because I had so much problem with my body, cramp, and I was very fit. I trained. It doesn't matter. It was too cold for my system.
That's right. You trained as an athlete.
Yes,
That was in Sweden
that was,
when you were younger.
yeah, that was in Sweden. So,
How? What sort of sports were you playing?
I have done a lot of sports, a lot. And since when I was, when I was 7 years old, my hands was like, my thumb were locking my hands, so I couldn't open my hands at all. And
Sure.
my neighbor, he wanted to train judo. Judo, you throw people and balance and all this. And I told my mom, I want to train judo too. And she said, but you can't do that. Sure, because when you're 7 years old, you always have one thing to do in life, and that's convincing your parents what you want to do. so, so I could convince my mom to go to this judo play. So really, judo was my first sport. But then in high school, there was a friend. We were competing double jumping outside on the break, and he always beat me. I didn't like that. Well, so I started practicing to beating him, but there was some passion of jumping, jump. It's something rare, like a spark in my heart. So I started doing long jumping, and that was my main event in the Paralympic. I went to Paralympic 1996 in Atlanta, and it was magic. I loved jumping. You have to find your passion. When you have find your passion, you have to do it, go all these steps. And then when you've done 5,000 hours, you start to make money on it. It took me 15,000 hours of training to go to the Paralympic. And it takes 6 seconds to break a world record. And I was fortunate to do that in 1996. And I didn't know what it meant. For me, it was like, uh-huh, uh-huh. It was because it was the passion. It wasn't special. But now, to have been a world record holder, it opens doors everywhere. King's dinner, CEOs, you come in everywhere you come in because they think it's something special. And I thought, are they stupid or am I stupid? Because
No, it's them. They missed the fact that you were always special.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But the thing was, when I landed in Sweden after this achievement, um, and now when I look back, I mean, I have only met one person who have been a world record holder. One. And normally I meet 10 to 15,000 people every year. And I talk to people training people. How many have gone to the Olympic or Paralympic? There is really nobody. It's so rare, but it took me time to understand. Because when I landed in Sweden after Paralympic, I thought something will happen now. Some magic spark, something magic. So I walked down there from the airplane into the main gate, and I was searching for this magic thing. You understand what I mean? And it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. And I was so disappointed. So, but what is this? I have done this medical whatever, and it's not there. But what's the meaning? So when I moved to Thailand and started to reflect, of my life to understand. So I'm 41 now. This was 16 years ago. What should I do now? I'm here. I have no obligation to anybody. I can do what I want. So I started walking the beach and figuring out what should I do now? How can I be happy? How can I feel this emptiness in my whatever it is? And so to be a sportsman on that level, and then to be a person, that's like two different worlds. They don't go hand in hand if you don't work on it. That was a long answer to your question. I don't even know if I answered it.
You did.
You did. I I love to ask very open-ended questions. So yeah, you did a great job explaining your experience with sports and with the Paralympics. And also you touched on something really interesting, which is how sometimes we have a goal and then when we meet it, it things are different afterwards.
Mm.
Um yeah, and it sort of changed everything. I wonder, yeah, no. Anyway, we talked about also the weather, and how that has a very um powerful effect on you. We still have a really big topic to talk about, which is going to be your like grounding strategies and like your regulation supports. But first, let's see. I yeah, oh, okay. Um One thing I have in my notes here is about how different people have different perspectives on you, right?
Yeah,
You were diagnosed by some doctors as cerebral palsy, and then your ashram, uh,
yeah,
Ash ashram? Anyway, your Indian friend. See, that feels wrong. Even worse.
yeah.
Your friends, you were called
Oh
enlightened
my
by them.
gosh.
At the
Yeah.
same time, you were diagnosed with autism and
Yeah.
cerebral palsy. Can you tell us about that?
I mean, that's a magic moment in my life, really, really, because
Yeah.
I was like 35, 37 years old, and I get this. I thought there was something wrong with me because um, I didn't live a normal life, and I thought,
Mm,
why is that? Why, why do I forget to eat in 3 days? I mean, that's not
yeah.
that's not normal.
Sure.
So now I have to
Right.
put the fridge so I pass it every day, and that means that I eat every day. But if the cooler isn't in my way, in my home, I don't eat because I'm not really hungry. But I am hungry. So I have all these strange things going on all my life. And
Yeah.
so they did new research on me, and I ended up taking a lot of tests. And their conclusion was that I have, you say, HIV and Asperger, more dosage of Asperger. And I thought, okay. I was a bit sad about that. 2 weeks later, I was in India. This is the same time. So I went to India to his ashram, Amma Bhagavan, I think he was called. This couple, they have like 140 million followers, and he was very famous. And I ended up in his garden. Since I am a world record holder, you get to be placed in by this, in the garden of this man. And this man came to the room. My ex-wife from Sweden was with me, and the man started to ask questions about the brain, the thinking pattern. And I looked at him and said, it depends how you mean. Do you want me to answer for my world or for your world? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, for my world. Yeah, and I answered all these questions that high minds get when they go through, and I have all the correct answer. So he bowed and backed out of the room and said to my ex-wife, we have to change this schedule because he knew normal people they can't see that part of the world. So I was treated like enlightened in this ashram. But 2 weeks before, I had HIV and Asperger and cerebral palsy. So, and my wife said, which one is correct? And I said to her, none of them. And if they say I have Asperger, HIV, or whatever, and they say I'm enlightened, maybe they are correct a little bit, but we don't have the knowledge yet to put an etiquette on whatever we have. But if we believe we have cerebral palsy or cancer or blind or whatever, and start to act like we have cerebral palsy or Asperger or whatever disease we have, then we sure have it. But I have never acted like a person with cerebral palsy. People with cerebral palsy, they don't move to Thailand from a different continent by themselves. They don't cross the Atlantic Ocean. They are not climbing instructors or whatever crazy stuff I have done in my life. So cerebral palsy, I don't know how to act. So
You weren't socialized to be disabled. You were socialized to be just like everybody else in your family.
yes,
And that is such an important difference.
yeah,
Did you ever feel othered in your family? Like, did you ever feel different from them? No,
no,
it doesn't seem like it.
no. I had an interview maybe 2 months ago. There was this guy, and he said, "Yeah, find this person from Nigeria," and he was a football player with cerebral palsy, and he scored a goal, and then he saw his body on a movie video for the first time, and he was like shocked. Is my body like that? He had no clue that he was different. And it's the same with me. But I understand when I meet people because they act differently. I mean, in
Yeah.
Sweden, they say to me, sometimes, not every time, or America or whatever I go in the Western world, that, oh, please, you have taken drugs. You can't go in here. In Thailand, they tell me to go out because I'm bad karma. So I don't know which one is worse, the karma or the drugs, because they believe here in Thailand that I was kind of a mass murderer or some very bad person in my previous life. So I spread bad karma. But I don't act on it. So there is another world, yes, around the corner, and they will understand me totally different. And this is the same for everybody. You don't come along with all the people you meet. You have to teach yourself to be good at, is this person good for me or not? How long should I be with this? Do it lift up my life or take it down? And surround you with people who lift you up to explore your world more and more, learning more and more. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What are, you know, because you live a very interesting life, very exciting life. You must need some nervous system regulation. I'm interested to know what are the tools that you use now in your own day life. Uh, there's something here called the 1% pause. I would love to know, and I'm sure they're both linked, these two. So I'd like to know more about that.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff that I do, but to simplify, um, first of all, I live in a country perfect for my body. The humidity, the warm weather, so I don't cramp. So that's kind of difficult for most of the people to just leave and start somewhere else. But then I stop nearly every day and reflect, what's the best way for me to go now? Yeah, and when I choose the way to go, I don't need to do it 100%. I have to do little step by step. And that's why I call it the 1%. Because you really need only to change 1%. And if it is the right 1%, then the other 99 automatically follows the new path that you go. So how do I find this 1%? That's the trick. And here we come back to the passion. One clue is that if you do something today in your life and you sit down and then you stand up and 2 hours have passed and you thought it was 5 minutes, probably there is your 1%. That's simple. And the next day you do the same. You focus on this 1%. And whatever else happen in your life will dissolve or disappear, whatever. And I have done this with thousands of people coming to me, and we find this magical 1%, and it changed everything. So that's one clue, to find this magical 1%. And when the time stands still and time flows, that's an indication of that you're in the right path.
That sounds beautiful.
And I just wanted to jump in and sort of say that, This is totally in line with what we know about, well, what we've been learning together about neuroscience and how the brain works together. This is exactly what Abby was talking about, how when your body and your brain are in an emotionally regulated state, then the executive function will happen. Then the hyperfocus can happen, but it cannot happen unless we support our emotional needs, our physical, sensory needs. Yeah, our body is kind of a machine, but we just don't know how it works, really.
Because we're
We have observations about previous models, okay?
yeah, yeah, and we are machines, and
And I
uh,
mean, am I being too unfair at the doctors?
No, no, no. I loved talking about this neuroregulation, and I love that you connected it with what Abby, she's a previous guest and a dear friend who talks about neuroregulation. And so I think this is a very important question, and your answer is very simple yet very important.
yeah, but because doctors are not wrong, uh, we are not wrong, spiritual people are not wrong, but we haven't connected all this stuff that we know. I mean,
Yes. We're still weaving all of the knowledge together to
yeah,
make a full encyclopedia or
you
something.
know, I can tell you a funny story. This is a
Please.
funny, true story. You know, acupuncture. Acupuncture.
Yeah,
You put needles in your body.
the needles.
Yeah, the needles. It's for China, but it was very low class in China. So when the Western world learned about acupuncture, it grew, and there were studies and there were a lot of things. And that message came back to China. And then acupuncture was accepted in China because it.
Gentrified.
So this is the problem with science and with spiritual. It, it's so complex.
I feel like science and religion are the two siblings that like just keep fighting with each other, but they explain the whole.
We are all gone to the end of our capacity to understand the world, universe, but there is a gap between, and we can't cross it. There is a small, we don't understand this gap between these two knowledges. And I believe that whatever field you are in, and you go this road 10,000, no, 15,000 hours, you do a long jump world record. But if you do 30,000 hours in your field, you come to a certain level that you see the world totally different
Yeah.
from a different perspective. And it doesn't matter which road you take, but to do 30,000 hours, you have to have passion, and you have to find your 1% or whatever you want to call it.
Thank you. That feels
That's
like
beautiful.
really targeted advice for us specifically. And I don't know if you remember the card that I pulled yesterday about the crossroads and the
Yeah.
blindfold. Anyway, thank you, sir,
Um,
Yeah.
Thank you.
for your
I
mystical
on
abilities.
this
Well, when I came to Thailand 2009, I don't think even I knew I had pain. I knew in Sweden I couldn't put on my socks, but I had had pain so long time, so you don't have pain. You understand my time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You don't register it.
yeah, you just block it out. And
Just like your hunger cues.
yeah, same. You just block it out. And so the best story to describe this so people can understand a normal situation, or not maybe normal, but a bit normal. I'm a painter. I paint. So I came to Thailand. I had to sell my studio, give away all my paintings in Sweden before I moved here. So I was sitting with a group of 20 people, and they asked me, "What are you going to do here when you move here permanently?" "Yeah, I'm gonna open a gallery and sell my art." "And how much should you sell it for?" "Yeah, maybe it's $3,000, $5,000. And they were looking at me and like, "That's not possible. You're in Thailand." "What do you mean?" I said. "Yeah, because if you go 1 hour from here, you're in Pattaya. In Pattaya, there you can buy a copy of Monet or any famous painter for like $100. How can you sell a painting for 5,000 or 3,000? That's not, you're not a known painter." And then it went like 1 month, maybe 3 weeks. I had my first exhibition in Bangkok, and there was a journalist interviewing me for a business magazine. And she wrote in the magazine that I sold one of my paintings. I think it was it $5,000? Yeah, I can't $3,000 or $5,000 in Thailand. And I came back with a magazine so they could read. I sold this painting for this sum of money.
You
And
brought the receipts.
yeah, so it's like everything you do is in your head. If you think it's possible, you can do it. Whatever people are telling you. So I think people can understand this story. So it's not focused on my pain or my cerebral palsy. It's focused on my passion. And if I think I can do it, I will do it. That's it. This is, does it explain what your
The
question?
magic.
Yeah. And this,
Yeah. Oh, it does. Last
Amazing.
thing before we go into plugging your work,
Mm.
what are you most excited about in your work right now?
I think it's exactly what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I think with my knowledge and my background and my way of seeing life, I have to get out more in the world so more people can hear the possibilities that you can do with your life. And I made a blog post the other day for the New Year's, and I have written down what I wanted to do 2001. So this is like 25 years later. And it was this come out with my message in the world in different ways, like podcast, like writing articles in famous magazine. I have one book. There is one other book is out, but it's not really out yet. And probably there is a third book coming. But to get out a message, um, and to see the eyes in people that, wow, now I understand. Wow, now I have to change my goal. I mean, I haven't done that much podcast, but the first I had, the man there was a very nice guy, famous, lot of money, and when we stopped the recording, he told me, "Well, tonight I have to write down. I have to change. You've changed the way I can see my life." And he was on the top of the world of where he had come, but he knew that there is a little bit more you can go, and it's from in you, in you. So I have done this for over 40 years, and this is still my number one passion, to get people to see their world
Yeah.
and take steps in their world. That's still my number one passion. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think there is
Mikhail.
no end to imagination, so
Yeah.
I think your
Yeah.
passion is unending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, if people who are listening want to find you and connect with you further, where on the internet can we send them?
Um, I think you can go to YouTube, Facebook, um, Google,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
search for Michael Avatar. Michael with a K. Michael Avatar.
Mhm.
And this is my real name. I have it in my passport. So it's not Avatar like
Yeah.
I have it in my passport. So my name is Michael Avatar. So if you search me on any platform, you can find me. And
Excellent.
I have like on different platforms, maybe 500 videos on different subjects. So there is a lot out there you can really see if you like what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I have a fun question to ask.
Okay.
I just like to add novelty to the session, because the rest of my questions are usually so similar. Interesting. The question says, which TV series had the most perfect ending?
The most perfect ending. Wow. But the thing with the TV series, they don't have an ending. You
They never anymore.
Yeah, that's so true.
You want to see the next?
The Young and the Restless has been going for 30 years.
Touche.
Because every TV
That's a good answer.
so it's, you want to see the next season now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Okay. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mikhail.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. If you want to connect with the Neurodivergent Report, you can find us at ND Report Pod on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, Substack, etc.
If you're looking to support the show, the best thing you can do is subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Please do that.
And hey, if you want to check out more about us, visit our website at ndreportpod.com. And you can also go there if you want to be a guest contributor on the show.
Until next time, be well, do good.
Bye.